Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to take me out for lunch.
Yep.
I said, yeah, I only eat kosher. So he said, yeah, there's a restaurant right around the corner.
Uh-huh.
So I went to the restaurant, and I looked at the menu. The menu has meat and butter and cream. And I said,
Oh, yeah.
The waiter comes over.
Mm-hmm.
He says, what would you like? I said, excuse me, is this kosher restaurant? He says, sir, this is, what do you call it? Kosher style.
Kosher style, yeah. That's. I know.
Well, they don't serve ham or pig or
Yeah,
anything like
yeah,
that.
and maybe like the salamis have like a hechsher on it, but next to the salamis are cheeses with hechshers on them.
So that's not exactly black and white. They have gray also.
Kosher style's not even gray. Kosher style's off the chain. You were talking about rough cats.
Yeah.
And,
I was still going to. I was in yeshiva. And I went to yeshiva high school,
mm-hmm.
and I graduated when I was 16,
Mm-hmm.
16 and a half. Apparently I wasn't that dummy. So
Mm-hmm.
I hung out with my yeshiva also with a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
My history teacher, American history teacher.
Mm-hmm.
American history was my best subject. And when it came to the tests, so he paskin, and the religious boys usually put bet hay, blessed be God.
Yeah.
And he paskin, my teacher, that you're not allowed to put that bet hay because you don't know what they do with the test papers.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, sorry, you're not going to tell me what to do with my religion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put down base hay. Well, he says anybody's not going to, if they put some base hay, he's going to throw out of class. So you get frightened very well, right? So I put on base hay, and he threw me out. That was the last third in the fourth year Shiva High School. So I went to the principal. Mr. McGutry, what do you want? I said, what? He's going to tell me what to do? He said, McGutry, what do you want? You want me to fire him? Anyway, but he had no choice because and the regions he can't let possibly from regions. It's for the state. So my graduation ceremony, I went to get my diploma. So the vice principal calls me over. He says, Gottfried, come over. He says, open up your diploma. Open the diploma. Beautiful bed hay. He said, now you're happy.
Good.
Anyway, both Rabbi Katz and Mike Tress is the head of the Eclipse Israel in New York. He was a tzaddik, that guy. And they both convinced me that I shouldn't go to the college. First, filled up my stomach with chinuch, Jewish, Gemara, and poskim. So I stayed in yeshiva, and we went to Turgadas in Williamsburg. And the war broke out, and the law is that people who are studying for the clergy, they're right over here. You get deferred.
Yeah.
Right. So the Catholics and the Protestants, they had no problem. But the Jews, you have Reform, you have Orthodox, you have Conservative.
Yeah.
So how do you make out if somebody's is supposed to be suitable for the clergy? So they set up a committee for the Jews. And one Orthodox, one Conservative, and one Reform. But of course, the two of those, the Reform and the Conservative, were against the Orthodox. They did everything possible. And so one of our boys, Rabbi Cass's pupils, Yitzhak Levi, when they poskim that he's not suitable to be a rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, how do you judge if I'm suitable? I think if I am the trust me test me out if I know anything. No, we anyway. So they decided that the army decided that they inducted to draft him.
Mm-hmm.
So this went on for 2.5 years. At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
the Supreme Court said that they have no right to decide either. They don't know how to test, and they have no right to draft him, to decide that he's not suitable. Actually, he did become a rabbi later on.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, we were furious, and the yeshiva refused to assist with a lawyer, to protest. And we made a racket there, Rabbi Katz's. How do you let the guy go be drafted? So we all, in protest, we left the yeshiva,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to the yeshiva with Montessor, in the Lower East Side.
Mm.
And eventually, Yitzhak did very well in the army. First of all, Rabbi Katz made him made a vow that number one, he's not going to eat any food in the army.
Mm.
And his mother, she wasn't religious, but she had separate for her boys. And she sent him sandwiches that he have to eat. And he's not going to Mechalel Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
In the army at that time, I don't know what it is today, but there was no such thing as not working on Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
So they court-martialed him.
Mm-hmm.
They said, you can do what you want with me, I'm not going to be Mechalel Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in the Husi outfit for 1 week.
Mm.
They couldn't move him, so they canceled all his furloughs.
Mm.
And then they drafted another 5 yeshiva boys for other yeshivas. They did the same thing. And they also, these kids got frightened. They were going to go to Mechalel Shabbos, and so said to them, you're not going to Mechalel Shabbos, you come with me. He took the boys, these yeshiva boys, to the captain. He said, these guys are religious Jews. They'll serve on Sundays, no problem, but they're not going to keep Shabbos. And they let them all yeshiva with them free not to serve Shabbos.
And this was World War II.
Huh?
This
World
was-
War II, yeah. Then came 48,
Mm-hmm.
and the good made a campaign for religious soldiers. Electric razors, kosher food, slaughter and tefillin, and all things. And he asked for volunteers. Well, the only volunteers that were Rabbi Katz's pupils.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go out to Times Square
Mm-hmm.
in all evening, and we went up with a blanket, with a
Sign?
huh?
With a sign? You went out with a sign?
We had what?
Keep going.
We went out with a bed sheet,
Bed sheet.
okay, and each one held a corner of the bed sheet, spread it out, and we had one boy. He had a bass voice, saying, "Oh, real, help the Haganah! When a new baby is born, it cries. A new nation was born. It also cries." We made at that time, and if you know what that a loaf of bread cost 5 cents, compared to what it is today, we made $10,000
Wow.
in 6 weeks.
Mm.
They were so amazed, the people, that the Shiva boys had. One guy, Louis Lipsky, he was the president of the Zionist Organization in America. He threw in $100 bill.
Wow.
We were afraid to go back home by train, so we took a cab. The Rebbe, that's used to wait up for us,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he counted the money. He said, he'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
They put it up. Anyway, one day, Tisha B'Av, Rabbi Katz had a bungalow colony
Mm.
in Castles, and we learned Hilchus Tisha B'Av and it was Avelo. And all of a sudden he says, I'm rolling up.
Mm.
Boys, it is war going on.
Mm.
And there is Israel, Jewish blood is being spilled. It's a mitzvah, whoever can go should go help.
Mm.
So Shlomo got me, here's a thing, who's ready. I get up, I said, bye, I'm going.
Mm.
I had no money, I was a sheer boy, man.
Yeah.
My parents couldn't help me. And I got hitched to New York. I went to a travel agency. I know he was Jewish, but I didn't know who he was. I didn't know him. I went there, told the truth, I want to go help. And I want to go to Eretz Yisrael. Sold me a ticket, a round trip ticket. I promise you when I come back, I'll pay it. And I take my word. Anyway, I traveled to the Rebbe. Rebbe at the time was, it was June. It was in Atlantic City for the summer. I went to him, I asked him for permission. He went to, there were another two Rebbe's there. He said, my Shleima is going to Israel. He took him by the hand. So well, there you go. Took me for a walk. Explained to me the mitzvah, lo tamod adam re'echa. When Jewish blood is being spilled, you must take part. And I went to Israel. The Rebbe told me three things. He said to me, don't go into the army because you don't have any experience. And you should ask my brother in Tel Aviv what you should do. At that time, Jerusalem was surrounded. And you shouldn't go to Jerusalem until my brother tells you. I came and I went to the Latzker's brother. He asked me, what are you going to do here? I said, I tell him, Rebbe asked something I should ask the Latzker. He said to me, there's a new village set up on Moshav, which is called Yisodot. It's a Hasidim. I would recommend you to go there, but since they only started 6 weeks ago, they have no chashmal, they have no water. A boy, an American boy, I don't know if you're going to be able to take it. So you recommend you go down to Chofetz Chaim. You know what Chofetz Chaim is? No. Chofetz Chaim is about 20 kilometers, 15, 21 kilometers from Tel Aviv. That was in the end of Israel. After that, the Egyptians came in there. They came into Israel. And I was in Chofetz Chaim till the end of the war. And when I came back, I wanted to go back to the yeshiva. They refused to accept me because I helped the Zionists, and we went to do Diller Yeshiva. It's Beretz Yishalayim from our Moshe Feinstein. You heard of him?
Oh yeah.
He was Rosh Yeshiva. Interesting, there were no planes going back and forth, no, only by ship. And on the way back, I had a couple of instances. There was one guy, non-religious, went the name. We were talking about the war. He himself explained to me how we captured Beersheba. I was in Beersheba a week after it was captured, and he said that he was in the army, and things were looking bad for the army. The Egyptians were overwhelmed in numbers, and all of a sudden it started to rain, and all of a sudden they started running back, started retreating. And when we ran after them, we caught them. And what happened? They were told by their prophets that at any time a war breaks out between the Muslims and the Jews, and they see three people in white clothes in heaven approaching, they should know that they have no chance in defeating the Jews, and they should retreat. So I told him, I said, you see the miracle, but what are you saying about Israel religion? Nah, it's another bluff. That's one. Then there was the Satmar person. You know, the Satmar against the...
Yeah.
So we had discussions, fights all the way through. But a month afterwards, for Purim, the Satmar Rebbe came to the Rebbe, to our Rebbe to visit. And this guy was with the Rebbe. They went into the Rebbe, and the Rebbe asked me to bring in some food. And this guy says to the Satmar Rebbe, this boy went to fight for B'nai Israel. So the Rebbe saw that this is going to be very interesting. He said, he's Shlomo. How did he fight? How did he help? He said, tell him. That's how he helped the right Shlomo. I said, yeah. So anyway, they finished. The Rebbe accompanied the Satmar Rebbe out to the door. This guy couldn't keep out. Rebbe, this boy wants to go and set up an organization to build a Hasidic city in Eretz Yisrael. Satmar Rebbe looks to me. He wants to build Eretz Yisrael. Pooh! Spit on me. I was the only one I think that got blessed by being spit on by the other. Anyway.
Satmar Rebbe, and that was here in Israel that happened.
Yeah.
Satmar Rebbe was here already.
Yeah. Anyway, I worked with Rabbi Katz to set up an organization for Aliyah. We were very successful. The Rosh Yeshivas were against it initially. At that time, there was no such thing as kollel in the United States. Kollel was only in Israel. Boy who finished college, finished yeshiva, he went to college automatically. See? So we came to the Rosh Yeshivas. We said to them, the boy finishes, what do you know what happens? So he goes to college, what's going to be? We want to set up a colony with a closed area, everybody with boys and girls. Everybody has the duty what to do. We even have a guy who wrote even a constitution for the formal organization, which is called Torah Malacha. So the yeshivas saw that we were right. We had 150 boys organized from all the yeshivas, Torah Das, Yakar Berlin, Yaakov Yosef. It was tremendous. We even had, even the girls, we had girls from Beis Yaakov, about 50 girls from Beis Yaakov seminary. The one seminary in Williamsburg, the head of the Menahel, the principal, was fanatic. He came to the Rebbe and told the Rebbe, your Hasidim forcing the girls to go down the path. So the Rebbe had a little argument with him, but he didn't stop us. At that time also, the Gouda